Third time's a charm yet again. Oh my gosh. Hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to Harmony Portal Tarot Live. Yeah, my throat doing the thing that it's doing. I've come to the realization that me trying to figure out like what I mean, I understand this fog that's coming in is like a huge cause of a lot of people's illness right now. And a lot of what I've been trying to do is like fight or like protect myself within this situation, this reality, this whatever. Instead of remembering that I'm a spiritual being and I can jump to a timeline where this fog is no longer occurring. So I did this whole I don't know, visualization slash meditation last night to just for days relentlessly this fog has just been here. I woke up this morning, well, actually, twice in the night. I let the dogs out, once at 12:30 and then again at 4, I think it was. No fog, no fog, and then no fog. I mean, obviously it looks kind of bright out there, but it's kind of that like hazy blue, kind of lighter blue sky today, so I'm here for it. Just to not have that static slash alive fog. I'm glad for it because I'm so done just feeling like my whole voice, even almost like I can't take a full breath because there's like, it feels like there's chaos or something from like nose, mouth, esophagus, windpipe down into the lungs. It just feels very, I don't know, heavy and thick, not phlegm wise, just like energy wise with whatever it is that they've been putting in this fog. And I just don't want to deal with it. I can even hear the sound of, or hear the difference in the sound. That's what I'm trying to say. But even weirdly enough, with the feeling of having my voice stifled, like just being able to articulate myself and word things properly has been really challenging these last however long this fog has been here. So I was just like, enough's enough. Like this is not serving me. So why? No, let's not do this. And funny enough, Boston actually was able to go back to school today. He was home yesterday as well. When we thought Wednesday, oh, maybe now's the time. He woke up with like he said it's like I'm swallowing broken glass. That's what he said, that his throat hurt yesterday. And mine was worse yesterday than it had been probably the whole time. And and I even had a dentist appointment yesterday and I just tried not to talk so they weren't like, "Oh my god, are you sick? You got to leave. You can't." Cuz they're very like huge sticklers at least at my dentist office, that if you are even remotely ill, you better call in and let them know cuz they do not want like viruses spread around and stuff. So I'm like, "Oh no, I'm just fine." I swear every time I swallow it doesn't hurt at all. But yeah, this morning it's I would say on the more mild side, like, it doesn't hurt, it's just raw. It feels like the best way I can describe it is it feels like I was at a concert and just screaming all of last night, and that's yeah, and the exhaustion just does not stop. Yeah, I've been wanting to sleep. I can't sleep at night, but, like, during the day, I'm like, "I could sleep," and then I go to sleep, and then my dog barks, or, um even though, like, it's rare that they do this anymore, Amazon will ring the doorbell. Like, they normally don't do that. They normally just leave it and go. But they'll randomly ring the doorbell or, something will happen to prevent me from being able to, go back to sleep. But I kind of included just all of this obstacle, distraction, whatever's just not serving me to move to more optimal timelines where there's just more flow, there's more ease, there's rest, there's recuperation, there's health, there's vitality. And of course, I'm taking those inspired actions that I feel driven to take to be able to come to those realities. But there's a guy, I sent him to Versha. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head. Um, and it's very much in alignment with like reality transurfing or like Neville Goddard, all the I am teachings, Florence Scovel Shin, all of that. It's just, this stuff will come back into my awareness when it's meant to like knock, 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 reminder, you're not just this helpless victim. You are a god, and so is everyone else, but like you are a god on earth. So like why not shape reality to something better? Don't be a victim, Amanda. And I'm like, okay, I get it, I get it. But the guy is basically saying that most people, me included, this is where I fall, is in the do. So it's in the doing first. It's like, okay, to get what I need or want, I have to like work really hard, really hard. And then I can have the thing, and then I can just be. Like I can just be or feel like I can be. But really it's kind of, and then there are other people that are like, okay, if I don't know. He explains it so much better than me, and I did not even plan to talk about this, but here it is. And then basically the way we're supposed to be doing it is first be, because we are spiritual beings. That is our birthright, is to just be. We don't have to be doing all the time. We're human beings, not human doings, as I used to like to say all the time. And then it's funny because I used to say that, and then I started hearing other people say that, and it's not like, oh, they copied me. I think, 100th monkey effect. Like we all just are like, duh, human being. Because when we're being something, we're not doing something. I don't know. A lot of people have been saying that, though, I've noticed. But you be, then you do, you be, you envision that reality that you want by being and kind of solidifying it through being that which you are looking to attract. Then you do, meaning take those inspired actions. Then you have. So it's simple, but it's not easy because we've all been just hardwired into our DNA. It's a anomaly. It's something false. It's not supposed to be there at all. It's not innate to our DNA, but it is innate in the fact that that's what we incarnated in the DNA structure that we're currently inhabiting, to feel this lack, feel like we have to work so hard, literally, because they need us to believe this. Remember, the word lie is in the word believe, to keep powering this false matrix. Because if we remembered and lived our lives as who we truly are, which is spiritual beings, gods on earth, basically having this human experience, and now I got itchy nose, good luck. We would create the realities that were more beneficial to us, rather than us creating realities that are beneficial to those principalities that are at the top of the food chain, or top of the pyramid, as they say. Yeah, it's very much giving, I'm done powering the false and I'm taking my power back. Yeah. Oh, dreams have been crazy. There've been so many where I'm running for my life, where I'm trying to like save people, and just so much disgustingness as well. Like just like the surroundings I'm in my dream are just so like beyond disgusting. Like they smell bad, they look bad. You can barely walk because there's like garbage everywhere. Like it's, to me, when I have dreams like this, it's letting me know, yes, I'm energetically cleaning up my own BS, or anything that's kind of attached to me, or that I've, taken on for myself, energetically speaking. But also when I start having, it's funny because it's almost like when you watch those episodes of Hoarders or Hoarding Buried Alive, and then you just get this like huge inspiration to like clean your house, even though it's not remotely as bad as the TV show. You're like, oh my God, I'm a hoarder. I gotta get rid of everything. Sometimes these dreams really do actually help to inspire me. And in the dream, a lot of times I'm like trying to find like the good things amongst the garbage. So it's like, hey, if I just clean everything up first, as I go, I will find the treasures that need to remain, and I can discard what doesn't need to be here, energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, etherically, all the things. So yeah, that's a big, I feel it's a collective energy, because I feel so many other people are in this energy right now of, maybe I'm not where I want to be, and maybe I'm not where I've been, but I'm kind of somewhere, that song, here I am stuck in the middle with you. That song is kind of coming to my mind's awareness right now. And isn't it like something jokers and clowns? I remember like balloons in the music video. I remember correctly. If I remember correctly, I should say. I think so, but it's almost like stuck in the middle with you, meaning we're all stuck in this matrix until we realize we don't need to be stuck in this matrix, right? So, yeah, it's kind of yet another layer of awakening that's like, "Wait, why am I playing so small? Like, what am I doing?" Like, and I think that's why a lot of especially timing predictions for not just me, but like other readers. I don't follow a lot of other readers, but sometimes things will come up on my For You page and I'll just click on it just to see, especially people talking about like current events or, um, humanities collective or whatever. And so many people are like, yeah, okay. Like we're all tuning into the same kind of thing. I don't know. It's really weird, but so much of like even right now I feel like my thoughts are being like trying to be sucked out of my mind because again, when we remember our power and then we're ready to step into something new, that's when a lot of these attacks can amp up. And when we've already been feeling in this stasis or stuck energy, it just feels so fatalistic, like that kind of victim mentality, like, well, you know, my life is whatever it is, and then or health or relationship or whatever the example would be for you personally, um, is this thing, and it's not great. It's not the worst it could be. It's not the best it could be, but it's not maybe what I want right now. And then you're ready to like claim your power and step into that next version of yourself. That's when the spiritual attacks come in. That's when the physical, mental, emotional, government, matrix, tricksters all come in and be like, let's make sure you're serious about changing. Are you gonna be diligent about thinking those good thoughts and not believing all these bad thoughts that are like being literally injected into your awareness? Um, so it's almost like you have to roll up your sleeves and become really diligent, like super diligent. And that alone is very exhausting. It takes a lot of energy just to be hyper aware of what's coming at you, bro. And I'm not talking just physically and the reality around you. I'm especially talking about just these bombarding thoughts or these intrusive thoughts or negative thoughts, just especially if you're just minding your own business, going along with your day, and something from the past, like a really negative memory from your past or someone from your past who left a bad taste in your mouth or experience that left a bad taste in your mouth, just pops into your awareness out of nowhere. This is a prime example of these entities looking to feed off of you because you're doing the most as far as this is just staring at me. You're daring to be happy, so they're like, oh, let's make sure you're happy, let's make sure that you're not going to trip up. And I would say probably 9 times out of 10 we take the bait. Even people who are more spiritually awakened or aware will still take the bait just almost unconsciously, and before we know it, we've thought spiraled and we've played out all these scenarios or revisited the past 4 ways to Sunday. And then, an hour's gone by and then we're like, oh, wait, uh, I could have just let that thought pass on by like a cloud as the observer that I am. Anyone else, or is it just me? Oh my gosh. We all can do it. It's literally programmed into who we are. Um, and that doesn't mean that we have to maintain and stay in this, but kind of back to that was where the thoughts were being sucked out, is as far as these other readers or whatever that I'll check in, it'll be on my For You page or whatever, and they will, oh, it's trying to be sucked away again, god damn it. Damn it. Uh about predictions, and especially with timing, predictions are becoming more amalgamous. Is that the right word I'm looking for? They're becoming more like, did that prediction come true? Especially with timing. That's really where I was going before I got derailed. With timing, because especially as we are stepping in and the false is passing away, it's dying a very slow and painful death, but it's trying to pretend to the rest of us that it's alive and well and stronger than ever. But actually, no, these are like the death throes, or I don't know if you know that when people are, especially like elderly people or someone who's been really ill for a long time and they're terminal, they'll get this like rush of strength before it's all over, and you think, oh, they're improving, like they're better than they've been in 2 years. Oh my gosh, maybe this is a miracle that we've been waiting for, and they're coming back to us. And then the very next day, they're gone. That's energetically, how I'm tuning oh, I have chills. How I'm tuning into why everything looks like the biggest dumpster fire, why it looks like we're on the verge of, living the sequel to the book 1984 by George Orwell, because they are trying to trick us into creating that reality. But if you know anything about something like Project Looking Glass, they have run, think of Project Looking Glass. And if you don't know what it is, this is just kind of a very, I don't know, kindergarten or 6, 7, younger kid version of what this was, is these elites, principalities, whatever we want to call them, knowing that their end is nigh as far back as like the 50s or 60s. I can't remember the year Project Looking Glass was taking place. Let me at least Google that much. So for context, for time reference, when was Project Looking Glass? And then I'll kind of explain it a little bit, not like in depth, but just boom, a little bit. Yeah, starting in 1961. Yeah, several distinct things, most prominently US Air Force Cold War Airborne Command Post. Okay, so basically what they've done with Project Looking Glass, think of it as a big AI generator that they accessed. And they ran through every single scenario that could possibly exist for them to further enslave humanity, conquer the world, moving into what, they just the same as we know we are the ones we've been waiting for. And the fact that uh this again, they're trying to just mind suck all of my like thoughts out of my head today. I'm not here for it. But as we try to level up, that's when the attacks come in. It always happens that way. But basically they knew the writing was on the wall as far as the Age of Aquarius, the Great Awakening, all of that. They knew that they wanted to further and further and further control the money, the food, the air, the water, the medicine, they want control over literally everything. Why do you think there's cameras, at least 20 different angles of cameras on every single corner now? That just was not a thing in the 80s and 90s. Maybe really big businesses in town would have, cameras just for their own safety and protection. But now people have Ring doorbells. People literally have cameras inside their homes filming at all times. And you don't think that these companies have sold you down the river to give, these, say, government systems or things above the government access, unbidden access to your personal cameras. And you might think, well, I don't have anything to hide. Who cares? Just the thought that something or someone could observe me in this way without my, I guess, permission is definitely gross, at least to me. But it's become so normalized that most people are just like, yeah, whatever. But anyway, back to my story, or explanation. It's not really a story. Project Looking Glass, these elites, we'll just call them that, even though they're not very elite. They have to call themselves this because, so we'll throw them a bone. Okay, we'll call you elites. They ran every scenario possible ending to this Great Awakening through with this Project Looking Glass and realized they will not win. There is 0% chance that evil will win through this transition. 0%. But that doesn't mean they're going down without a fight. And in fact, they will. It's kind of like, what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is like someone's getting their house foreclosed on. So they like go through with a baseball bat and they like bash it, break out all the windows and bash all the walls, even the load bearing walls. Like they go through and they damage it beyond repair. Because if I can't have it, ain't nobody gonna have it, is like what they're doing with these systems, with all these false flag events. Like, if you haven't noticed, the boiled frog went from like 8 on the, we've been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They turned it, we were systematically going maybe from 1 to 1.2 to 1.8. Like, they were slowly turning it up. But they've gone so far at this point to go, just as an example, they've turned the dial from 8 to like 12. And that's a very noticeable jump that even your most live, eat, sleep, work, do it all over again person who's just very checked out is starting to notice that this is weird. Like, I don't think this is normal. I don't think we're supposed to live like this. I don't think the government should have this much control. I don't think X, Y, or Z. Even those people are like, something's amiss right now. Yeah, it's crazy. Um, yeah, let me catch up on some comments. I didn't even plan to talk about anything except my throat, and feeling a little bit better because I literally am working diligently on shifting timelines. Let me see if I can find the name of this guy because he even uses a very similar thing that I talk about in my book series about kind of like this, shifting timelines is almost like the changing of the dial for a radio station. You can't access, I don't know, 96.3 if you're down at 88.9. Like you're not going to get any information, realities, opportunities that are located on 96.3. Um, and I explain a lot of this stuff in my book series. My hair is doing something. Oh, guys, I'm getting my hair cut on Monday, and it's the first haircut I've gotten that wasn't by my own hand since not 19, 2019, not 19 something, but 2019. Because I was gonna get it cut in, I want to say it was like I was due for a haircut around March of 2020, but we all know what happened then. So I delayed it, and then I delayed it so much and it became such a problem that I'm just like, I need to do something about this. So I took to YouTube and learned how to cut my own hair, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse, but I'm gonna treat myself. I am getting my hair cut. Oh, you're getting your hair cut tomorrow. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna scroll back up and catch up on some comments. Brianna's here. Varish is here. Hello. Solar Siren. Oh my gosh, my ladies are in the house. Yeah, beyond exhausted. Dreams are crazier. Oh, today a baby was dropped into my family, and turns out we accepted him looking for baby stuff from Kay's time, but he had this black goo coming out of his nose. I think there's a lot of information in that for you, Versha. That's crazy. Yeah. For a while now, I'm being where I am and just allowing, not sure what will happen yet, just focusing in the now. There you go. Timelines have been off for me since last year. Timelines, and even just like the hijacking of positive, if we want to take just to like the system of karma that's in place, a lot and a lot and a lot and a lot of positive karma that was kind of due to come my way last year, just per my human design, per my birth chart, and numerology, especially too. None of it came through, not one little thing. So that tells me something very important and kind of exciting is these things aren't guaranteed anymore. All these things that are written in the stars that were supposed to be fate and destiny and you can't escape it, you have to endure it, whether it's good or bad, are no longer hitting the same. So this means our free will and where our attention goes and our energy flows, where we spend our time, where we're paying attention, we have a lot more power and control over the reality we're creating now, more than we did last week, last month, last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, your whole incarnation. And as we move closer and not closer, but like more through and into this higher vibrational energy, we're just going to gain more and more and more access. And I think this is kind of the crux of these elites losing their control, is because more and more power is being returned back to the people, not because the governments are saying, okay, we'll rip this law off the books, or we'll amend this law to give you more power back. No, it's nothing like that. It's just spirit giving us more of our true spirit to utilize and work with, to literally shine light on all of this darkness and evil, and literally reclaim all that has been hijacked. That's how we do it. We don't do it by fighting or shielding up. And this is something that I talked about many live streams. I mean, there are times where we're kind of like in the moment, like, okay, I got to protect my energy. That's all well and good. But this is us, instead of having to literally survive in these timelines in our higher vibrational state, we're literally, instead of trying to being almost kind of between two radio stations where we're catching every third word of that higher radio station, we're instead saying, you know what? Spiritually speaking, I'm just going to turn the dial to completely tune into the spiritual frequency that I'm looking to experience, rather than just hoping for the best or making do with my circumstances. But sometimes there is this element of acceptance of our circumstances that we almost have to step into before we can, quantum leap to something new, because otherwise our subconscious, again, with that programming with the subconscious mind, we just won't believe it. It's too good to be true. This can't be happening to me because I'm a sinner and I have all this bad karma and I, dot, 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 whatever, we're programmed with. um, so it's almost like acceptance is like the first step in being able to realize, okay, I accept this as the current reality that is a manifestation of my past that is surrounding me right meow, right now. But from here on out, I don't have to continue to choose this version. I can turn that dial by your inspired, you get an idea, you get a thought, someone approaches you with an opportunity, and then you can respond by taking that inspired action into something greater, into something more in alignment with the reality you're looking to experience is really. Let me find the name of this guy. It does look like we have a donation from Versha. I'm also going to catch up on your comments and then we'll move. We're already 27 minutes in. I didn't even expect to talk because, again, my throat, it's feeling better. But yesterday it was feeling worse than ever. And then I'm like, enough's enough with this crap. I'm not staying on this timeline. I'm working to, again, I'm not fighting what's already existing here. Instead, I'm going to choose a more opportune and aligned reality for myself and jump to that one that already exists. Okay, so kind of more of the same. We've talked about Neville Goddard here. We've talked about Florence Scovel Shinn and all these, the law of one or the I am stuff. We've been down these roads here on the channel multiple times. But I found a guy that he's got his whiteboard and he's explaining it very well in ways that I feel are just like right on the money. So let me try to find his channel. Okay, his name is David McEwen. I'm going to just pause this. We'll just go to his channel. Okay, so yeah, channel is all about helping you become aware of what you are truly capable of, and more importantly, giving you the practical steps to analyze that. My goal is to help you become aware of not just more information, techniques, and tools, but the truth of what actually works and what doesn't. Yeah, he basically breaks it all down to help you tune into who you truly are and the timelines that are more beneficial. So that's the YouTube channel name. Go ahead and check that out if you feel so inclined. Let's see. I don't know a specific video to suggest. Here's a few that I've looked at. You can see the ones with the red line under it. So if any of those are sparking your fancy, let's give you guys a second if you want a screenshot or just look at it. But I'm sure he's got more. I just saw a few of them, but just those few, I'm like, I already knew this stuff mostly, but like at the same time, it just re-sparks something that you kind of have been on. It's been on the back burner for me for a minute now. I know it was last spring, kind of going into summer. Well, it was kind of last winter, going into spring, going into summer of 2025 that I was really talking about all this stuff back on the live streams. Yeah, but anyhow, let's catch up on comments. Yeah, timelines have been off. Absolutely. Yeah, divine light is coming in and is aligning everything with the divine timing. Brianna's here. Hello. Yes. Notice the little microphone popping up in the corner of my phone. I have pulled back on the spiritual information that I speak through my phone. My mind and my journal are my safest domains. Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a digital calendar or what have you. And I used to write a lot of things in the notes app in my phone, but I've gone back to just wanting to create something more tangible, pen and paper. And that way, even if they have some sort of technology going through our body and has already read my mind about it, I guess that's neither here nor there. I mean, it is what it is. They've already got it, but at least it gives me the peace of mind to feel like these are mine and mine alone. And whoever I choose to share them with, at the end of it all. But yeah, I love that. I'm the same way. Yep. I've been meditating with your mandala and it's so powerful. I will be ordering a smaller one from you soon. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Yeah, that microphone pops up for me too. And I was actually just watching a video right before the live stream started. and my whole kind of along the edge of the phone lit up. It was kind of like from a purple to a blue to an orange to a yellow, and then kind of fading back reverse of those colors, just going all the way around. It was kind of glowing like this. And I didn't, it's not like I pressed anything. I thought, well, okay, are my headphones like not plugged in correctly or something? Because sometimes, like, if you don't have the headphone plugged in, it would just stop or it'd pop up like you were trying to contact Siri, which weirdly, I've never and have never used Siri on any of my devices or anything, because I don't want to turn my microphone off purposely, or turn it on purposely. I want it not listening to me, but I think it still does anyway. I mean, you know what they're doing with these things, obviously. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Welcome, Linda. Yeah, the biggest part of forgiveness and being in the now, not attaching an emotion to it, just accept what it is, that's it. Yeah, but if an emotion does rise up, I mean, we are human. We are, emotions are energy in motion. And sometimes for us to be able to process something that just happened, if our body is physically reacting in a way, usually an emotion, you'll feel it in your body as well as feel a certain type of way, right? A lot of times, like if you get scared, usually your stomach or your stomach will drop into your butt, and you're just like, your heart will jump out of your chest, and then you kind of calm down, like you breathe into it, or usually we contract too if we're scared. We don't go we contract into ourselves like or a lot of times your hands will fly up to like protect your neck or face. Um, that's like just knee-jerk reaction response. um a lot of things that happen, we will feel it in our physical body, whether it's emotions, thoughts, spiritual downloads. We will feel it in our body. But if someone is trying to trigger you, but you don't feel, or maybe you feel like a bit of annoyance or something, there are ways that you can feel into that feeling. Or something that I do when something not ideal is happening, and this is not like a spiritually bypassy type of thing to do, but what I do is I like, even like, I don't know, like at my in-laws house, if my brother-in-law is kind of getting snippy with his mom or something, what I will do is I will just bring my spirit, I will bring it up from my sacral area, really bring it up into my heart, and then I'll just expand it all around me. And a lot of times, just me bringing more of my spirit online will diffuse a situation that really has nothing to do with me, but that I just don't care to experience. And even when things are going good, you can really tune into your spirit and really just light it up all around you. That really just helps, even just the visual of it, whatever color resonates for you, to activate that spirit of yourself around yourself, to, not that you're protecting yourself, so to speak, but that almost acts as a frequency band that you're stepping into something higher, to really help you just feel grounded in your body. And especially if there's stuff going on around you that you're like, I don't want to be here, but I don't have any choice. Like if it's at work, or, you're at a kid's sporting event and someone you are getting a really bad vibe from is sitting kind of next to you or by you. This is a way to quote unquote protect yourself without feeling the need to like get defensive about it. Although if you are at these places or things are going on, you can go into full defense mode. There's nothing wrong with that. But I would say in the long term, for us to literally put ourselves in defense mode, we almost create this prison for ourselves, because we're trying to separate that energy from us, or separate ourselves from that. And that just further excludes us from things. Instead, it's probably better to, if you have to do that in a moment, do it. But like, as far as like long-term quote unquote protection or shielding, it's just literally living in your light, and those things and people and situations and potential crimes that don't vibe at your high level, they cannot penetrate your high vibration. They're operating down on 86 point whatever, and you're on 96.3, doesn't compute. Yeah. So yeah, the biggest part of forgiveness is being in the now. Yeah, we read that. Yeah, I declared something similar in my dream today. Have donated to get more info from it. I feel it might help collective. Awesome. Yeah, when the emotions come up, I become aware of it and start breathing through it. It helps a lot. It really does. Because a lot of times, especially when we're feeling a negative emotion, the first thing so many of us, again, that kind of knee-jerk response to it is like, I don't like this. This feels gross. Let's shut it down. Let's push it away. Let's shove it down. Let's get out of the scenario. Let's bypass it right now. And instead, if we can feel into, if it's annoyance because it's taking a long time at the red light, allow yourself to feel into that annoyance. Maybe you can ask it, why? Why am I feeling annoyed? Or, hey, annoyance, have a seat in our waiting room of emotions. You're welcome here just as much as happiness and joy are. Have a seat. There's a magazine, there's complimentary waters, whatever you need, we are here for you. And I know that sounds weird, especially with negative emotions, but negative emotions have just as much right to be expressed as the positive ones. And I think a lot of times, especially when we're on these spiritual paths, we think, well, if I'm feeling angry or I'm feeling rage or I'm feeling frustration or I'm feeling, anything we deem negative, we want to hurry up and get out of that emotion or get out of that feeling. But instead, if we feel into it and allow it to exist, because it's there for a reason, it's giving us very valuable information. Especially if you're getting the same, say it's a specific coworker, and every time they come in, you feel angry. That is your body and emotions giving you very valuable information that, hey, maybe this is not for us, or this person is not for us, or this situation, or this job work environment, or whatever the case may be. It's, giving us valuable information for sure. Yeah, it does remind you of Inside Out. I mean, I think someone on a very spiritual plane, it was at least contributing to that movie. And I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen previews, and I think my kids have watched it. I've seen snippets of it to where, yeah, I mean, someone who's spiritually in the know must have been in on writing, or at least somehow involved in that movie. Or movies. I think there are more than one. Yeah. All right. Well, that all being said, me being all long-winded today, we might as well get into Versha's reading. So let's do that. Okay. All right. So we have a full read on this and then another full read. So 2 full reads. I think that's what we're dealing with here. Yes. Okay. So first read, I'll read the question, then set the timer. Oh, again, they but they changed the icons. So now my timer is white instead of black, which I'm used to looking. There it is. So I have to recalibrate myself. Okay, so we'll at least get that queued up. Not quite started yet, but what's happening with Kashfi and her mathematics passion? It happens every year around this time. I don't want to push her. This concept is all about inversion concept. Just clarity what's going on and how to encourage the flame of passion to go on. Message from pure source energy. Okay. What I'm already hearing is, and this is more for you than her, is why is it so important that she has to continue this passion if she's not passionate about it? And you don't need to answer that to me or anything. Just what if the passion died? Is that the worst thing in the world? Or what does that mean? Again, no positive, no negative, just asking questions to yourself about what this means for her, for you, for the future, whatever. Okay, a card did fall before I was able to fully ask the question, but there's breakthrough energy here. I'm gonna start our timer actually and switch back over to my camera view. There we go. Okay, timestamp. Oh, let's get that real quick. We're at 38:45. Okay. But this is the Olympic athlete card. Again, this is someone who knows their stuff. They're very wise. They're very, what's the word? Disciplined. But there's something, this is kind of almost, sometimes I read this as kind of that moment in the hero's journey after the dark night of the soul or the all is lost plot point of, you're kind of gathering the team or gathering the forces to go in to the climax, not kicking and screaming, but like charge, full charge ahead. So there may be some passion building, especially with wands. Wands are a card of passion. That's what I've been wondering. What if it's not a passion anymore? There's something building here. So let's see specifically for Kashfi without any external puppet masters, be them, S's expectations of her, be them the Matrix's expectations or the school system's expectations, or just even her expectations in regards to pleasing her parents, pleasing the school system, pleasing her, the students around her, whatever that looks like, but in just pure alignment with her true spirit. What does Kashfi's passion for mathematics have to say about any of this? Okay. So the passion dwindling does come from a spiritual place. It's very much not because she's like, "Oh, I'm not good enough, so why try?" It's nothing like that. This is very much a spiritual source, and you may even ask her or have asked her, "Why do you no longer feel like pursuing this the way that you once did? You were very excited about it and passionate about it, and now you're not. Do you know why that is?" I don't know if you've had that conversation or what she's told you, but she may not even know, like, why was I like so gung ho about this and now I'm just kind of blah. She is not alone because so many of us, even the things we're super, think of me as an example with my writing, and I'm so passionate about it. And when I think about that world of my characters and all the things that are going on with them and the story that I want to get out to the world, nothing excites me more. But just it's almost like pushing a huge boulder uphill, has been, not currently and moving forward, but has been like pushing a boulder up a hill for me to get the stamina, the momentum, the motivation, the inspiration to even want to sit down at my laptop and get words on a page. It's very much a collective energy that has been, um, kind of keeping us from the things that light us up. Whether it's something, also, the things we're doing that once lit us up, but were contingent on, I'm only doing this to prove a point to this person, or I'm doing this for fame, or I'm doing this for whatever reason that's outside of you, and the things that just are out of alignment with your spirit, those things are falling apart. The things that are, even if it is in alignment with your spirit, but you're trying to go about it or pursue it or push through it for external reasons, that doesn't mean it's not in alignment. It just means the way you're going about it is out of alignment. So if that true passion is there in your spirit about mathematics or writing or whatever, it is bubbling up to the surface. But if we're trying to go about, realizing this goal or pursuing this passion in ways that are trying to validate outside of us things or people outside of us, or to prove a point to somebody, or to make a whole bunch of money to prove something to someone that's not ourselves and our own spirit, that's where the problem lies in being able to move forward. So maybe some of the reasons that she's been pursuing, not that she doesn't have that passion for mathematics. I do feel this pure passion for it. And just when the equation works out and the numbers add up, so to speak, no pun intended, there's this rush of excitement from her spirit. Because if you think about it, the universe is mathematical. And if you can understand math on like a deep level, you at least have like kind of your foot in the door of understanding how the matrix is constructed, but also the universe. The universe is also mathematics. The matrix is kind of a subset of like a mathematical subset of that, because it has to have its own math. And right now with that false matrix, the math ain't mathing anymore. 1 + 1 no longer equals 2. It equals some other weird, obscure number that we've never heard of. And that's where this confusion is coming in for many of us. So this is Kashfi's reading, obviously, but it's coming across very much as a apply this to whatever your passion once was or still is, but it's kind of been buried under this burden of having to prove yourself to a system or a person or a teacher or a whatever. But when it's you just having fun, being in joy with the passion and just the pure and raw happiness and connection and flow state that you can get into, the better off you're going to be moving forward and being able to birth creations from these passions, or being able to help others with the passion you have, like if you're a teacher or something, to be able to birth that just inspiration and motivation to teach the best way that you can teach, and that you'll attract the right students that are just like eager to learn, and they're picking up what you're throwing down, and like everything is flowing. That's what's happening here. There's a very spiritual way, a reason behind this, but I see within 2 months, I see within 2 months, 2 months, Versha, that there is this reignition of passion, but the reason behind her moving forward with this passion has shifted a lot. And it's instead of her trying to please all these people outside of herself for her talent and passion for mathematics, it's like she's pleasing her own spirit about it. But funny enough, as a natural byproduct of her pleasing and appeasing her own spirit about all of this, it's almost like she's pleasing and appeasing people outside of her with this passion. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It feels very straightforward to me, but yeah, it's almost like an aha moment, a light bulb, a spark is coming back for her. But what I'm hearing is the way either the exact path that she was once following is falling away so she can have a new path forward with it, or the way that she once showed up with this is there's something about it fundamentally that was kind of at the foundation of how she would pursue mathematics is shifting. And that could even be like it's very multifaceted. It's not just one way or one thing, or the meeting place that they would meet for mathematics is different, or there's something fundamentally different from the way she once approached her passion for mathematics and the way she, kind of the horse with which she rides this passion, be it with a mathletes or a competition based math club or program. Something about the way she once did it is shifting and changing, but it is more in alignment with what her spirit is looking to experience. So it's all good news. It's all good news. And she's not alone. All of us, every single one of us that are living and breathing on this planet right now are feeling this shift from doing things to please other people, even if it is a passion of ours. Sometimes, especially maybe when it's a passion of ours, but it's almost like other people's expectations or advice or their guidance on our passion almost hijacks our own, especially, and this is not the fault of parents, but what is an example, think of these guys who are trying, I see it a lot in my town, especially the people who sign their kids up for like travel ball. I mean, you're paying and traveling all over to be able to pay these sports like top dollar. And even if their kid isn't good, it's like they're pushing their kid so almost so they can live out their fantasy and their glory days through their kid yet again. Or if they never were picked off the bench, now's their opportunity to be the star because their kid is really good and they're pushing their kid. And maybe the kid did love it and has a natural talent for it, but the fact that their father outside of them is just pushing, it almost just, it really, it leaves a bad taste in their mouth about it. And sometimes it'll take years and years and years for them to, maybe they'll burn out. I see a lot of kids like this in this community. They'll kind of burn out on that sport come high school because it's just been shoved down their throat so much that they're just like, even though I was once and probably still am passionate about this, screw all of you. I'm going to do what's in my best interest, or maybe something that's not in my best interest, but has nothing to do with that thing you're trying to push on me. We're moving out of that doing things to appease other people energy, especially with this cross of the sleeping phoenix, replacing the cross of planning, which is again, for the greater good, do those things that are going to please everyone else. And instead, the cross of the sleeping phoenix is allowing that spirit within us to awaken to what is in our best interest, what brings us joy, what lights us up, and then doing and going in those directions and doing those things that will then solve the problem we tried to solve with the cross of planning, which is, creating a world where everyone's benefiting. Because this is something that has been like a duh thing for me, even since I was very young in school, is, that kid is so good at math over there. And this girl is like the most amazing artist. And this boy over here is like top of every science fair. And this girl over here is amazing at music. And maybe there are kids that they have multiple layers to, maybe they're good at all four of those things and then some. But not all of us were put here to do the exact thing, line up in a row, go through the same lunch line, learn all the same subject. That is not how we are designed, but that's what the school system has put us into. And if you're not the top of your class at every single class in every single area and facet of this, you're a failure over here, you're a failure over there. Well, what if you were never meant to go down into the subject of science? What if your expertise is more in music, and you were meant to all along really be nurturing that music. Of course, learn the basics in math and English and know how to write and, learn the basics of everything. But then once you really know, start specializing in what, if that's how the school system was. And hey, if at some point you were really specializing in one thing, because again, your prefrontal cortex is not even developed. They say 25, and now they're starting to say closer to age 30. They've done more research, I guess. So it's one, not fair to, especially put kids in just this box to say, okay, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer. So I'm not seeing it to that extreme to where, okay, well, you're really talented at music, so we must put you in the box of music. You're not allowed to do science. I may be amazing at music, but I actually love science. Whatever the case may be, it's about allowing the child to lead their own development. And if at some point they want to do a hairpin turn and pivot a whole different direction, that should be okay. And that's what we're moving into, actually. But, it's going to take time. It's not going to just happen February 15th of 2027. It's probably going to take over 100. I mean, we've been in this specific school system debacle for not even 200 years at this point, but 200 years is a long time, but also not a long time at all, and no matter how depending how you look at it, right? Yeah. Let's catch up on Versh's comments. I didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but I don't know, I guess I'm a tangent kind of girl these days. I did ask that. She said, I don't know. Yeah, and she doesn't know. It's not that she's just trying to blow smoke up your butt, like, oh, I don't know. Actually, I do know. I just don't want you to know. No, she really doesn't know. And it may even be frustrating to her. I had a feeling that maybe she feels pressured. I always say that. Please do it only if you feel if it feeds your inner world. You don't have to please me or any. That's amazing. And just you being that support and letting her know, hey, if at any point you want to drop the reins of this thing you've been riding for so long, do it. I'm here to support you. And if you want to go in a whole new direction and learn something else or really lean into this other thing, hey, also here to support you for that. And if you just need a break for a while and don't want to do any of it, here to support you for that. That's amazing. But there is a fine line too, for parents to let your kids lead their lives so much that they don't want to do anything. That could also be a problem. So it's about, again, Versha, always as a mom, you trusting your intuition and knowing when to push, when to pull back, when to let her know you're here to support her, and all the things. And you're doing a great job. So don't think, oh, I dropped the ball or I missed the mark or, oh my God, I've messed her up for life. No, you're doing great. Yeah, I also want to work on my own self and let go of and alchemize. I lost my spot. Oh, alchemize control and want to control her if that is what is hindering her. Oh my God, I feel you on that. Everyone sees and knows more than the person who is doing the painting, maths, or anything else. Yeah, right? It's like, no, that person should know their own spirit more than anyone. Yeah. I said the same thing to her. You cannot excel in everything, and it's okay if math is it, then just focus on that. I even told her that different people excel in different fields, which is okay. Yeah. And think of, especially in this day and age of them finally acknowledging there are neurodivergent individuals in these school systems, and there always has been. But there's one very neurotypical way that we teach everybody. And I always use that example. It's like telling a fish you need to climb a tree and be really good at climbing trees. And then we're telling a monkey, hey, I know you're really good at climbing trees, but we don't have time for that here. You need to get out there and be swimming underwater without coming up for air. That's what you need to be doing. And I know it's not that extreme, obviously, but a lot of people feel like a fish out of water in this world because we're not designed for again, it's that square peg round hole analogy of these systems that are in place. The systems should serve the people, not the people serve the systems. But the people have been serving the systems for a very long time now. Maybe those systems, once they were put in place in 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, early 1900s, maybe those systems did come to be and they did serve the people, but then they became something that the people are now serving the systems, and that is not good. And that's where we're at with pretty much everything right now. It's like, why do we keep doing this? Well, we've all said, I have enough F's. I've given enough F's on this. No more F's left to give. This, we're already feeling this energetically, and we've probably been feeling it for about 5 years, at least, probably since COVID, actually. Um, Something's different, something's shifting. And I think kind of having this pause button or kind of, whiplash of them pulling out all the stops with the pandemic and having everybody the lockdown and everybody just kind of having like a hard reset to that grind they were living that was just normal, and then having to go back to the quote unquote new normal. um Life just hasn't hit the same, and again, by design, and that's a good thing, because the life that we were used to and comfortable with and just going along to get along with, it's just not it for us anymore anyway. So we can look at the pandemic as a good thing in that regard, that it kind of opened our eyes to the fact that, hey, maybe there's a better way to do this. I mean, everybody stayed home for like 6 months and like the world kept turning. Things still got done. Work was still accomplished from home. All the things like, but there are maybe better ways that we can move forward and do things, from here on out. Yes. Yeah, I said that to her as well. It's okay if it doesn't feed your inner being. I don't like the pressure on performance. It's a passion, not a pedestal to measure her worth. But that's how these competitions or how you perform is seen. Exactly. That doesn't mean she shouldn't participate in them, because, maybe she wants to. Maybe it's fun for her. But you can just let her know, hey, the outcome of your passion, say you got 9th place. That does not mean that you can't be passionate about that thing, or that says anything about your worth or your talent or your whatever. But yeah, there's a shake up, wake up, break up of a lot of this stuff coming in. And again, it's not all going to collapse and fall overnight. That would not be beneficial for us at all. So the fact that we're getting aware and we're kind of going to build this wave of momentum toward wanting change and wanting shifts, even if we don't know what those look like yet, we're going to figure it out along the way. We really will. Yeah. Controllers realize that their strategy went against them. Yeah, it sure did. All right, let's get into the next question. I could just talk on these all day, probably, but we'll move on. Let me timestamp this one as well. I mean, you'll run from one reading into the other, but let's do it. 56:53. And most of that reading, because the first timestamp was 38:45, was not me doing a reading. It was me kind of shooting a breeze in, having a conversation that we're all maybe hopefully benefiting from. Versha. Okay. Your dream question. Let's go back to that. So, info I need to know from the dream I had. The baby pooped a lot, and so I was looking in Kay's diaper bag. Then S was playing with him. When I took the baby, I saw the black goo. I stood in front of the mirror and did a declaration. You want to control me? Bring it on. Yeah, please. Pure source energy. Okay. Information from pure source energy. So the fact that, think of pooping as like a release, or if something is pooped on, now it's soiled or it's defiled in some way. It's really showing like what needs to be released or let go of. And the baby, when you think of baby, like as a symbol, the symbol is innocence. And then it's coming out with black goo, which we know is anything but innocent. It is something false to create control over something just so very innocent. Yeah, no, you're fine. If you need to add questions here as we go, I will start the timer. Feel free to expand on that. But let's just see what Versha needs to know. Any other information about this dream? Wow. 4 of Cups. So this really is, it's interesting because in the traditional Rider-Waite depiction of this card, it's like he's staring at the 3 cups, and then there's this cup of opportunity that's wanting to come in. I'm glad we're using this deck because it's giving me a very different meaning. It's like you're pouring from 2 cups on the side here. Something about relationships. This really does feel, interestingly enough, yeah, because the baby was just kind of put into your family rather than you being pregnant, going through labor, having this baby, it looking like you guys, all the things. It's almost like the false being put upon you or something thrust upon you. But even though, because again, you're not just going to throw this baby in the streets because he's innocent and he didn't do anything wrong, but like there's black goo coming from him. So maybe there's something hijacked about him. I don't know. So it's giving like confusion. And a lot of times, when the Four of Cups comes out, it's like, I'm missing something. I'm missing a key element of what this actually means. So let's go to the Pantha Oracle and see what is this missing element that this dream, or just some missing symbolism, missing advice, guidance, wisdom that this dream was trying to bring forward that was lost, or just something we can expand on from this dream. Okay. Yeah. Again, with the commitment, binding, because you think, a baby's thrust into your family. That's like a commitment or a contract. If you adopt somebody, you have to sign a contract saying you're going to take care of them, and legally they're your responsibility. So there is something kind of we were touching on, about something outside of you coming in that you're now in charge or in control of. And interestingly enough, it's almost like the innocence of the baby, the black goo of the matrix. This really does tell me that you have more control over what the matrix is trying to project onto you in the disguise of something very innocent. No, this is for your highest good. No. You're seeing through it. This could be marriage contract. This could be, just kind of the way of the family dynamic, and the way, think back to when you were younger, before even getting married, or when you were first married, and what you thought, having a child or children would look like, and raising these children together, what you thought it would look like versus what it actually does look like. And you realizing that you can break those karmic contracts. And I know you've done a lot of contract work and all of that, but this, to me, just something kind of outside the dream itself, but just energy and information coming through about it, are, again, if you don't want to keep experiencing that 86 point whatever radio station, it doesn't mean you have to physically get up and go somewhere else. It's just you're tuning frequency and energetically speaking to a higher radio station, 96.3 or whatever. I would say 96.3 because that's probably my favorite local radio station here. It's 96.3, The Blaze. It's like rock. And they pretty much 90% of the time are playing either Guns N' Roses, which, whatever. I don't care about them so much. But they play a lot of Nirvana, a lot of Foo Fighters, a lot of Linkin Park, and Volbeat. A lot of, good. A lot of Metallica. They're always playing Metallica. Let's see. Does it have to do with me and us? Yeah, it really does feel at the crux, or the foundation of this dream. It does have to deal with the co-parenting. Yeah. Oh, I was forced to take care of the kids. My sister-in-law had, even my own, just because. Also, my thought to have another baby, to have, yes, 2 kids complete the family. Yes. And I was going to say, because you didn't get that child incarnated, in this current reality, your dream brought you a version where, they brought you a second child. Maybe it didn't look like you. Maybe it wasn't biologically yours, but there it was. It's kind of also your subconscious kind of closing out those old cycles where, you're putting to rest what would have been, what could have been, or even if you're still like kind of grieving the loss of completing the family with a second child, what should have been, that's really coming forward. But it's showing that there is a balancing coming forward, balancing of energy, balancing of, again, karma, or just you stepping outside the matrix, the Fool, and there's a literal white baby with golden hair. What say you? What say you? Of course we're using this deck because no other Fool card looks like this. Oh my gosh. And it was a boy. This is giving boy vibes to me. It was a boy. What I wanted, as there was pressure to have a boy. So I declared in the mirror that doesn't define me anymore. And you guys know that this is my stepping out of the matrix card. So it chills, Versha. Oh my gosh. It's like you, with your intention, are pouring out the woulda, shoulda, couldas of the past because it wasn't meant for you on a spiritual level. And it doesn't mean that those spirits that came through for a moment from those miscarriages and, that you still have in your heart and love and care for, it doesn't mean that you can never associate with those spirits again or have access to those spirits again. They are part of your monad, your soul family, so to speak. So you will be able to have access to their light and their love and their care at some future potential incarnation or after incarnating, all of the things. So there's really no loss here for you. Second, all those things you felt bound to, contained with, obstructed by, contractually agreed to, committed to, you can say no more. You can be, stepping out of that matrix, literally having a fresh start. The baby also represents a very fresh new beginning. Yeah. And there is, again, that association or connotation of innocence when you think of a baby. And maybe even helplessness because they can't take care of themselves, obviously. But then the fact that the black goo with the matrix coming in to invert what was supposed to be innocent and helpless and needing of your nurturing, and then it showed its true colors with the black goo and the poo and the coming out of it. It's like, okay, you can come up as a wolf dressed in sheep's clothing, but now I can see right through you. Contracts, matrix, people, opportunities that aren't in my best interest, whatever the case may be. Wow, that was powerful. All right, our timer went off. So I just want to keep going, but this is good news, Versha. This is in your dream state, you closing out just a lot of what I have chills. What I'm seeing in my mind's eye are these looping, thought loops that are kind of energetically keeping the back door open for the matrix to come in and play on your heartstrings of the past of, what you wished happened versus what actually happened. You're closing that back door, locking it, not so much locking it, because that again would denote I'm in defense mode. But instead, you're closing the back door and then you're literally elevating yourself to a vibration where they can't even get to your door anymore. Oh my gosh. Yes, let it all go. When I saw your little fire emoji there, I'm reminded of that trash can of spirit that I just throw all that negativity into. Because, when you transmute that energy back to source knows what to do with it. And sometimes when even just trying to alchemize all the negative energy around me to, alchemize it into something positive so I can use it, sometimes even that's too exhausting. So I'm just going to send it back to source. But then there are other times I'm like, hey, let's make this negative energy work for me. Depends on the mood I'm in, I guess. Yeah, accepting it for what it is. Love it. All right, we have a donation from Brianna. Okay, so channel a true and authentic message from spirit, please. What do I need to hear right now? All right, for Brianna, 1 card pull, even though it's never 1 card. In alignment with Brianna's true spirit, what does dear Brianna need to know right now? Message from true aligned spirit. Ooh, love, love, love is in the air. Okay, this is hilarious. I love this so much. So, are you planning a potential honeymoon or trip or something with your spouse? Love it. There's a lot of planning here, or even just if you guys have been I'm seeing almost like this ping pong match of ooh, what if we lived in this place? Or what if we moved here? What if, just daydreaming together? Ooh, what if life could look this good? What if my business could be this big? And just ping ponging all of these manifestations and dreams back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to each other. That's what's coming through. If that's not something you've already been doing, which you probably have been, this to me feels very much like something that you guys are, again, with that closed loop system of the divine feminine, divine masculine, channeling that information almost. And when I do that, it's like a spiral, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, but spiral. It's like spiraling the energy to create your version of heaven on earth, whatever that looks like. And then we have the 4 of Wands. This is an energy of exhaustion or recovery, healing, self-care. Let's get a clarifier as to why this came out. Oh, I know. I don't need a clarifier. I know. So I don't know if your spouse is looking to or already is part of your business with your amazing stuff that you're doing. Or if you're just using your example of love in your commitment, in your connection with your significant other as your divine masculine counterpart in your work. But this looks like this will be healing and restorative and rejuvenating for especially the females, but anyone that comes to you for your services. Going to Morocco in 15 days and moving to Japan. Girl, that is bucket list stuff right there. Look at you go. I love that. I have chills. This is so in alignment with your true spirit. So, ships ahoy. That's so cool. I love that. That's amazing. And this may not be like your last stop in the travel and moving and just experiencing the world, because as you touch all these different places, like your beautiful vibration and energy is like rippling out from where you touch down physically. Also mentally, like if you're mentally just, putting your sights on somewhere in China or somewhere in Mongolia or somewhere wherever, you are putting a resonance of your beautiful frequency in that location. You don't even have to physically be there, but of course, when we're physically there, it feels more powerful, All right, let's get a closing statement. Let's go to the Panther Oracle. Anything else Brianna needs to know right now in alignment with true spirit from original source? Okay. So I'm not getting a bad vibe from this because we have a completion here. We have that 9, which is signaling completion or the fact that this energy is on its way out. Feeling awkward, feeling like you're afraid of the unknown, feeling like, again, vision problems. This could be psychic vision. This could be physical vision. These things are a sign of or a thing of the past. This to me feels like you being able to, before you go into a situation, you just have that blind faith almost of, well, I don't know exactly what this is going to look like, but like, this is going to be amazing. So you're leaving behind the fact that you need to see it to believe it, which we've already tuned into this for you and kind of also our collective. Now, believing will then lead to seeing. And it's been this way for you for a while. It's like you already see it in your mind's eye and know that's meant for me. That's my destiny. That's what I need to be doing. And then you manifest and create that just by putting your awareness there. Not like that's the only thing you're doing. You're still rolling up your sleeves and getting to work, but you're trusting the path. I love it. We already know this about you. We already know this. So yeah, just living your best life, doing the things. Military life. I'm blessed to have a strong desire to be a digital nomad. There you go. Yeah. And that's the beauty of the work that you're going to be doing and have been doing and will be doing is you don't have to just be anchored into one little mom and pop shop somewhere where only the locals can come to you. Like you can be anywhere and everywhere at all times. Like, that feels kind of maybe overwhelming, but like in a good way, Yes, that's where I am, letting life pull me. I have to trust my gifts. Yeah. And I just heard blind leading the blind because that's the energy we've been in. When we've been blinded to the reality of what this place even is and the fact that we're even in a simulation or a false matrix, reincarnation, hell trap, when we're blinded to that fact from the beginning, it's like blind leading the blind, even if we think we know best. Maybe what we know isn't best for this person or what our path isn't best for that person. But as we awaken to what's meant for us, we realize, well, what's meant for me is not probably meant for that exact person or that person's exact path. Maybe I'm part of their path where they're kind of veering into my lane for a minute to learn something from me, and then they're going to go about their way and their day. Yeah. Yeah, so much is coming from this year. I love it. Yeah, you have to trust your gifts. You really do, because they are literal gifts. Like if we all could just, and we will be with this, and you especially leading the way, Miss Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix, Incarnation Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix, the Phoenix is waking up. The Phoenix is rising. The Phoenix is saying, I'm done pretending to be asleep or dead in these ashes. I'm ready to rise. Like, try and stop me, elites or matrix. Just try, because it ain't happening. Oh, speaking of that, I have chills just saying this right now. So, okay, we were talking about the Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix the other day. My book character, she has the same birthday as Kurt Cobain, February 20th. Of course, he's born in 1967. My main character is born in 1980. But that is within that 6 day. There's usually about 6 days that the sun is in any given of the 64 gates, I do believe. It's about 6 days that the sun will stay in a gate, and it usually goes in. It's either the 14th or the 15th of February into the cross of the sleeping phoenix, and then it'll leave the 20th or the 21st. My grandma's birthday, fun fact, was February 21st. But I don't know because she was born in 1930, again, how it shifts, it changes. But let me go astro whatever that I use for my ephemeris has not been working very well. So let me just see if it's on and popping today. Let me Google my grandma's birthday. I'm getting to a point, I swear. I have a point here. So hold the phone. we're getting to the point. I got to go back to 1930. 1930. She was born February 21st. Okay, so the sun was in 8 degrees of Aquarius, Shatabisha Nakshatra. Now let me go to February 2027, 15th, February 15th specifically. Or let's just go to February 21st and see how far it has shifted. Oh, yeah, it's doing that thing where it's not working. Like, it'll let me run the first birthday, but then if I try to do a new date, it'll just pop back to January 16th, 2026. It's like glitched. But I want to say the sun is somewhere in that vicinity. But okay. So you must have been born in February, right? Or there's something with it's either your unconscious or conscious earth potentially that maybe you're born exactly opposite of that sun. I don't remember exactly when your birthday is, Brianna. Apologies. But funny enough, me and my Stranger Things era right now, I was looking at May 23rd. Oh, that's my anniversary. I got married on May 23rd, 2009. That's interesting. So it must be something about your unconscious earth. I can't remember which ones make up the incarnation cross of the sleeping phoenix, but I know when I ran Kurt Cobain's and my main character's birth charts, they both came up with the cross of the sleeping phoenix as their incarnation cross. And then the other one, I can't remember what the other one was. But okay, so I remember seeing on a file for 11, the character on Stranger Things. Her birthday was 6/7 of 71. But I was curious. I'm like, well, what is her actual birth date? Like the actress that plays her, Millie Bobby Brown. She's born February 19th. How funny is that? Isn't that hilarious? So she at the very least has her son on at least one of the gates of the cross of the sleeping phoenix. And think back to Kurt Cobain in the 90s. Generation X was his generation. And he was really big on like, F the police, F the systems that are in place because they're not serving the people. The people are having to serve the systems. He was very much on like rights for all people, not just people of this color or people of, this sexual orientation. Like he was very much like, everyone deserves rights. You are a person in the world, you deserve rights. And that was Kurt's like message. As far as maybe not so much his music, but like when he'd be in interviews, he's like, yeah, I kind of wish I was born gay because like he was just very open-minded and inclusive of so many walks of life and realizing, hey, we don't all have to have the same path. And no one's wrong for having the path that they're on unless you're like oppressing people and being a dick, like that was his whole shtick. He was very much someone to wake up a generation and think of, Stranger Things. And yeah, maybe it's not the character herself that has that birthday or that incarnation cross, but the girl that plays her has that at least gate, one of the two, or maybe both the gates open. I don't know what time she was born, so it's not like I can run her personal chart to know, but I did know what time Kurt Cobain was born, and of course I knew my character's birth time because I created her, right? But yeah, it's just showing that so much of this sleeping phoenix energy is like activating even since like the 90s, is like playing out in even mainstream ways. So who knows? Whatever you're creating, Brianna, the world needs it right now. So follow your gifts, follow your intuition, because that is what the world needs. Even if it looks like, yeah, maybe I'll have 5 customers or clients right now, but moving into these coming years, you're just ahead of the game right now. So if at any point, Brianna, this is coming through very clearly from Mama Monica, she is on her soapbox. If at any point you feel like, what's the point? No one's coming, or maybe things you gain a momentum and things are starting to fizzle out, don't give up because the world needs this. The world really does need what you're offering. And over these next, especially 5 years, so 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30, you're like setting this very secure foundation for your business to be able to help people. And again, I'm seeing a very multifaceted, because what I see in my mind's eye is this really beautiful, like otherworldly, almost like pink tinged diamond that's like multifaceted. What your gifts are, maybe the services you're offering or the ways you're helping the world may not always be, maybe a lot of the services you provide do bring in a lot of money, cash money, but maybe just having an experience with someone in the shopping mall or at the grocery store is very life changing to that person and also to you. It doesn't always have to be that you're giving, giving, giving and not getting anything back. You're getting a lot back by sharing your gifts and being who you came here to be. Dang it. I love that. So I hope that resonated for you. I know we went off on a tangent and then picked up and, had Mama Monica's little message there at the end. I love that. Oh, you had the Phoenix bird come in my dream twice last year in November. Oh my gosh. It is so multifaceted. It took so long to make it make sense. I feel like all my clients are sent to me, and that is how it's going to be moving forward. And you may even feel, because I look back when I am creating and operating from this place of joy, it's like the people that need to find me, find me. No matrix can stand in the way of that. When we are coming from our pure spirit, not even the matrix can get in the way of that. But when we maybe are trying to please this person or prove something to this person or, just chase all that money, not that money's the problem, but if that's the reason we're doing something and the only reason, and there's no real pure passion or spirit behind it, it's going to fizzle out. It just will. And it's not to say that if you're living and feeling like you're living from your purpose, but yet clients aren't coming in or the money's not coming in, it's not so much that your passion is wrong or what have you. It's maybe the way you're presenting it to the world or the way that it's getting out there. And also, sometimes the matrix can stand in the way, but when pure spirit is pushing something forward, even the matrix can't contend with that. And especially the matrix can't contend with that because they don't have any of their own spiritual life force. They have to steal it from all of us. Thank you. That was amazing. I cannot wait for you to make it to the end of Stranger Things so we can make some hard comparisons. Ooh, yes, I'm on. Okay, let me see. We watched the first episode of season 4 last night. So we're actually making some progress. It did help that there was a couple days there where I think we were watching like 2 to 3 episodes a night because we just had the time, But now we're in basketball season and we'll probably get a watch. Well, we have basketball tonight, games at 7, over at 8. We'll probably get one episode tonight. Tomorrow we have Nate Bargatze tickets. We're going to see Nate Bargatze. He's like the clean comic, so we're taking the kids. He's fun. He's funny. Yeah, so my husband really loves Nate Bargatze, so we're going to go do that tomorrow night. So we probably won't get to watch anything tomorrow night, but probably be back on the Stranger Things train by Sunday. So season 5, episode 2. Yeah, I'm cooking right through it. Really. Yeah. I'm excited. All I want to do, like I think about the nuance and the things, and I did have kind of a critique a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of a spoiler though. So if you haven't seen past the finale of season 3, please pause or go away for a minute. Spoiler alert. You've been warned. If you're watching the live or the replay, you've been warned. Okay. Has everyone left that doesn't want to be spoiled? Okay. I thought, this is my critique. I thought that Billy's sacrifice to save his stepsister, whose name is escaping me at the second, Max, and 11, his sacrifice himself to save them, would have had more payoff. I think it had a lot of payoff for him and 11 because 11 was in his memories and like got the humanity side of him to come forward enough to decide to make that sacrifice. I thought that was beautiful. I have chills just talking about this. But I thought it would have had a higher punch and a payout, especially when we move into the first season or first episode of season 4 with just how off the rails Max has gone depression wise and sadness wise because of everything that's happened since Billy's death. It would have had more of a punch if Max and Billy had a special moment that kind of gave her hope to think maybe we can have a better step sibling relationship. But we didn't get that. I was waiting for it and hoping for it. And I think the actress playing her part when Billy did kind of give himself to whatever that thing was, I always forget the name of it, the mind flayer creature that was created out of everybody. Her response to that was, yeah, it was huge. But I think she could have had that exact same response, and especially if they had like a touching moment, even if it was before he got kind of hooked into this mind flayer. It would have been more of a punch, packed more of a punch, so to speak, if they just gave him even 30 seconds of a tender moment together, because all of their relationship was screw you and fine, I won't do it, and just very, which is fine. That's fine. I love that for them, but I just wanted to see a little bit of something moving in the other direction to make his sacrifice have even more of a gut punch to her, especially with how I'm seeing them play it out in season 4 so far, of her being greatly affected by that. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Through his memory of his mother. Yeah, for sure. But then in my awareness, I'm like, oh, now Billy gets to go be with his mother again and not in this crazy world of what he's dealing with right here, right now. At least on some level, he gets to maybe reunite with his mom. Fingers crossed. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for me today. Let me just double check that we're caught up on comments. Donations. We're caught up on comments. Okay. Yes. Maybe. Yes, we are. Okay. Well, I think I'll have a slightly earlier lunch and hang out with my dogs for a little bit and then go get the kids from school. So I know he had his cup of stuff going on. Yeah, he had a lot of stuff going on. But even I guess there was kind of a moment between them outside the mall when they were trying to get the car running or whatever, and Max is standing there and sees Billy like revving his engine across the parking lot. I guess they had a bit of a moment and you got to see Billy's tears, like he's crying. But again, I wanted to see something on Max's side, not just pure fear that, oh, Billy's gone off the rails. Billy's under the control of this thing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm no expert, but yeah, I try to put these, like, you want, as a writer especially, you want every action, every scene, every interaction to, at least pack one punch, but if you can pack 2, 3, 4, 5 punches with with people's actions and words and stuff, if you can pack like super more punches than just one, that really makes for rich writing and create character creation and layering. I love that. Yeah, he was abused by his dad too. Yeah, absolutely. And her mom was probably abused. Yeah, she was in a bad situation. Yeah, and I don't know where Billy's dad went because it doesn't say. It just says since I think when Max was talking to the counselor in season 4, episode 1, she's like, since my stepdad left, which was Billy's dad. So I don't know still. I'm sure they'll play more on that, but her mom's been drinking. I get that. So maybe that's more why Max is upset and sad, and she had to move into a trailer from that decent house that she lived in, at least in season 3. That alone is, even without seeing someone die in front of you, is a pretty big deal. So, maybe. But I think they could have really, yeah. She said he left after Billy died because he was a wreck. Okay, maybe I just missed that part. That makes sense. And it's funny because it kind of almost humanizes that stepfather a little more, because he may be feeling really guilty. Like, maybe if I didn't beat him and abuse him and push him so hard, maybe this wouldn't have happened. So maybe it kind of would have been cool to see that stepdad have his own redemption arc or something. I know. Bob was cool, and not just because he was in Goonies when he was a child, but, yeah, he was just fun. He just added this kind of effervescence to the cast that just wasn't there before. Um, and then when he died, I'm like, "Oh, but Joyce was finally getting to be happy, and you guys were finally gonna escape this place and get to go be happy for a minute." And then he died. I'm like, "But please no." Yeah, at first I was kinda like, "Who's this annoying guy?" I mean, I knew who he was as a person, but, like, character-wise, like, what are they trying to prove with this kinda guy? He's kind of annoying, and then I'm like, "No, I kinda like Bob, he's fun." I know, it was sad. Yeah, the way he died was so sad, and then, of course, Joyce had to watch that happen too. It's like, oh, trauma, man. Yeah, I'm excited for upcoming episodes, so much so that I'm trying to stay off because I think just saying Stranger Things, saying things, it's popping up in my For You, so I'm trying not even to go to the For You, whatever, to see anything Stranger Things related, because 'cause I'm not subscribed to anything Stranger Things related at this point, but, I wanna be able to immerse myself in really, before I'm either spoiled by other people's things or influenced by their opinions on it. I want a true, raw, authentic reaction for myself on how this plays out. And as I pace myself or feel like, okay, well, we have Nate Bargatze, so I can't watch anything on Saturday, Stranger Things related. I'm trying to just enjoy the journey and realize there's only one time you can watch a good season or a good show for the first time. You can watch it again, sure, but it's your second view, third view, fourth view, fifth view. You can only watch it first or for the first time once ever. So I'm trying to enjoy the journey, be in the moment, as they say. Yeah, it's weird because from the very first time I heard about Stranger Things, I'm like, "Ooh, there's something to this." And I know I'm gonna just be, like, obsessed with it and love it, but I wanna wait. I wasn't not that I wasn't ready, but I'm not the happiest when I have to wait for a whole new season to come out, and then a whole new season to come out years later, and then years later. But yet at the same time, it feels like you're more connected to a series or a story or a whatever when you do have to wait. So I guess there's pros and cons either way, but I just knew for some reason with Stranger Things, I wanted to wait till it was all out and then immerse myself for whatever reason. I don't know why I thought that, but there it is. Yeah, I know he was like a mismatch to the plot, but I guess they added a flavor to the show. I mean, I mean, some people might call him a plot device, like, oh, they needed Bob the Brain to figure out that those vines were a map of Hawkins, obviously. But I liked that at first he just seemed like a goofy, supportive guy, and then yes, he may have been a plot device in some regards that he was only needed for this one thing and this one thing only. But I think he did bring some layers to it, you know. Yeah. For the fourth season, Kay waited, and then the fifth, and I am taking my time. There you go. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and I kind of agree, but by the time that was all said and done, I'm like, "Bob, you will be missed." Yeah, but they built up to it. Yeah, for sure. And it's like, if Bob wasn't involved in any of that, it kinda would be like, well, was he really needed other than to just kinda be a, like, nice supportive guy for Joyce? But, yeah, you want your characters to have, like, multiple reasons for being there, that if you just took one of them away, that they don't need to exist. That's why I've had to kill some of my darlings, no pun intended. I've had to, um I had a specific character that was just kind of a friend of, like, this one group, but a friend of this other group that I realized wasn't necessary. Even though she was fun, there was really no other reason for her to be there other than this one specific thing, and I coulda just made this other character do that thing or fit that role, fit that shoe that already fit like 3 or 4 other shoes. So, I've put way too much thought into my series, probably so much more than most, right, not like, "Oh, whatever," but, like, a lot of writers will just write what they feel and just go with it, but, like, I'm like, "It all has to mean something. Everything has to mean everything." That's how at least I want when people read my series to feel like what just happened to me? What have I just been through? Because, oh my gosh, there's so much here. I'm gonna have to read all of it again. That's how I wanna feel when I read something. That's how I wanna feel when I watch something. So, how dare I potentially put out something that doesn't also do that? Because that is what I live for in my media. Is something that has so many meanings and is so multifaceted that I could just sit there and ruminate on it for the rest of my life. Yes. So I hope to at least do a fraction of some of that with my series for people. Hopefully, someday, when more people are going to read it than just my writing group. So, yeah. Oh, she's not allowed to watch this show. She was getting nightmares after a few episodes from the first season. Yeah. Oh, you waited for the fourth season. Yeah. And my kids, they started watching it after I did because I want to be enough ahead that if something really freaking scary, like, I don't know, to me, what happened in the first episode of season 4 with who I'm going to assume is a character later on that I've heard the name of, but I'm not sure yet. Vecna, maybe, potentially, possibly. I don't know. That got that cheerleader girl, Chrissy. He got her. And how he got her is kind of scary. And I think the reason it's more scary than what happened to Bob and what happened to all these others is this bad guy talked. And when the bad guy talks, it adds this other layer of creepiness to it. Cause there's, if something's talking, there's a bit of maybe a bit of humanity there, right? So that makes it even more diabolical that he's killing someone who's also got a lot of humanity in them, right? For his own means. But when these, a lot of these monsters from the past, especially what Dustin was calling the demo dogs, they were more just animalistic. So it almost didn't have that personal touch. But when the bad guy actually like has cognitive process and speaks words, like that takes the creep factor up for me, at least. So hopefully though, my kids won't be scared by that. Yeah, when they were all the little, like when they were on 4 legs, I think he called them demo dogs. It was like demogorgons, but dogs. I don't know. He was calling that one Dart. And I always forget the name of Dart. Dart something is whatever he called it at first, and then he called it Dart. And weirdly though, that one at the end, because it had like a special, I think it was like a yellow patch or something on its hind leg that kind of differentiated that one from all the other ones. And when they're trying to get through that like cave maze vine system, whatever, in the upside down, he did have a bit of a connection, enough of a connection to Dustin that he wasn't just going to go and kill him. He's like, okay, fine. You shall pass. Fine. Whatever. So I did like that. Oh yeah. The last episode of 3rd season, they were his army. Yep. Okay. That makes sense. I figured it was all leading to some big bad that we would eventually put a face and a name to that wasn't just Demogorgon, Demodog, Mind Flayer. Those are all more titles than names, I guess. And if this is all leading to Vecna being a bad guy, I'm here for it because that's what I want. I like, because that's kind of a similar thing that's going on in my series is, you think this is the bad guy in book 1, and then you think this is the bad guy still from book 1, but also another bad guy. It's all leading you to realize some other big bad is like kind of pulling the strings all along, if that makes sense. Which a lot of good media, not like, oh, mine's good media, but like a lot of good media does that. It's not just, okay, season 1 is this bad guy, season 2 is another bad guy. There are media that do that, and that's a whole other can of worms, so to speak. But I love when you think this is the bad guy, but you realize, no, this bad guy was being puppeted by this bad guy, and this bad guy was puppeted by this bad guy, and then there's a big bad at the top. I love that. I love that kind of media. Because then you're just like peeling off layers to get to the root cause of all this craziness. And that's what I'm hoping I'm doing in my series anyway. That it's not just one-off bad guy in this book and then a new one-off bad guy in this book that none of them really connect. I like when everything connects, and then I get like my conspiracy murder board out and have all the you know, that this meme, I'll show you. This is how my mind is working with my series. Uh Always Sunny, this meme, this guy. And I've never seen this show, or I've seen episodes of this show, but I don't know the context of this, but like this is what I'm doing with mine. It's like, okay, this connects here and this connects here and this connects here. And if you look at it as a whole, as a big whole, it's all one big ecosystem interconnected. I want it all to connect, or as much of it as you can connect to the other, the better, but not so much that it's becoming a soap opera either. Like, oh, this is, I don't even know an example, but like, you know, you play so many roles of the same thing that like it's too kitschy or too plot device-y. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want it to be too over the top, but also it has to be so interconnected that like it serves multiple points. I don't know. Without spoiling what I'm writing. You just have to take my word for what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Yeah, that last episode of the 3rd season, yeah, they were his army. Oh, sometimes I wonder if the reality of the Matrix is like what they show. I mean, probably. At least energetically speaking. I mean, I haven't seen what it's all leading to, but if it is leading to some big bad, I wonder. I wonder. And it's not meaning that the creators of this are in the know and they're part of the Matrix and they're evil, and no. But we all intuitively from a DNA cellular level know that something about this place isn't right. And one of the best ways that we can get our thoughts out on that or express ourselves about the fact that we feel like we're kind of imprisoned here in a way is through our creative expression, through books, through media, you know, writing, you know, fiction that has a lot of truth hidden in it, whether we knew it or not, you know? So you can't even point to these people who are writing these shows and books and stuff that we're like now, oh, they knew all along that this is a matrix and like they must be bad guys and programming us and subliminal. I mean, yeah, maybe on some level, but on another level, maybe they just know like cellularly that there's something off about this place. And maybe the way they express it isn't 100% truth, but nothing out there in the media is 100% truth either. In fact, it's probably closer to only 20%. But they got to put just a little bit of truth in it to get you to hook in intuitively, almost on a subconscious level. And then you'll just take hook, line, and sinker all the rest of what they're, the 80% of the bullshit they're trying to feed you, you know? Yeah, I feel like it's all about the subconscious, conscious, and trauma. I'll let you get through this season first. I'm being careful. I feel like that's the way they're going, especially with how much they focus on Eleven's gifts and now lack thereof gifts. There is an element to that in book 1 into 2 of my series where a girl, it's not a gift that she loses, it's a physical ability that she loses that everyone else still has, but she loses it for a while or maybe indefinitely, who knows, ... question mark. And just the very real reality of dealing with the fallout of losing something that was so innate to you. And in Eleven's case, it is her you know, her being able to like throw people with just her mind or remote view. I don't know. They haven't shown if she still can do her remote viewing thing as far as the black with the water on the floor. I think that's, I mean, I'm calling it remote viewing. It may be slightly different, but they haven't expressed if she can still do that much, but we know she's lost her physical mind powers to hurt people or throw people out of her way or what have you. And especially because, you know, she learned how to override the conscious thought of, well, that's not possible. I can't do that. To then override that and now to lose it, even when she probably tries to do her same process and somehow, again, I'm not so far in that I know, did she just like literally blow a gasket, blow a circuit, and now she doesn't have those powers? They, at least to where I'm at, haven't explained why or how she lost her abilities. And I'm going to assume they'll go into more detail or depth down the road as to why. And most likely just accidentally seeing like the poster or whatever they put up on Netflix for season 5 And 11 looks very warrior-like, so I'm gonna assume she's gonna get her powers back, maybe little by little, maybe all at once, I don't know, but I'm just gonna assume she gets it all back, and then some maybe, who knows, who knows? Yeah, I'm here for it, whatever happens, happens, and I'll be here for it. Yeah, it's dead in the upside down with dark vines, okay, like a dead shadow side to the bright divine reality, so knock off it with no creative force. And then to have any kind of force, they have to use the creativity from the other side, meaning the normal side, the inversion of the upside down, which is the real world in Stranger Things, to pull the energy from that realm to keep the deadness and disgustingness of that upside down alive. At least that's how I'm seeing it. So energetically and maybe even physically speaking, some of this is very, yeah. But instead of our physical reality being quote unquote the right side up, this is the upside down. And our true reality of pure source creative spirit is something that we haven't, you know, maybe we've experienced glimpses of it, but we don't know exactly what that is an experience. And I'm sure we go there, energetically speaking, from time to time, because we still are connected to it. Um, Even if we feel like that connection is stifled more times than others, or maybe we'll have a clear breakthrough one day and then it feels more, closed down the next, but we always have that connection. But yeah, you'll get your questions answered later in the season. Oh, good. I love that. Yeah, almost like from the Matrix, a spoon does not exist, and how Neo understands it and starts dealing with the Matrix and agents. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's like loose harvesting and the energetic cubes placed in place to siphon energy. Yep. And just these newer 5, and then, the letter G frequencies that they are doing that go exactly opposite of life. It's an exact opposition of a life-giving frequency, the F and the G. I think it's 60 hertz. Let me Yandex it, because Google likes to run me in circles. Yandex. Okay. Oops. So let's see what hertz. And it's funny, they call it hertz and something hurts. Like, ow, it hurts. I wonder if that's on accident. Who knows? What frequency? Okay, let's see. I wanted to say it was 60 back in the day, but I don't know. I'm not seeing anything about it. Advanced radio frequency bands, shorter data transmission bursts. I don't know. It's not really giving me a number, even though I asked directly. So, but I know tuning into the frequency and vibration of it, it feels in like it's not giving us anything. It's not neutralizing or just being neutral. It's taking away. It's negative for us. Not in a good not a good thing when I tune in energetically. And even just hearing them talk about it before they amped it or unleashed it or put it out there to the public during COVID, it didn't feel good to me. Like, ugh. Yeah. I mean, if you see the series from start to finish, there's so much manipulation you can see that's parallel to what we have going on in our inverted reality. Yeah. And that's what I hope to accomplish with my series, to basically let people know, hey, this isn't right. There's a lot going on here. Your thoughts are not your own a lot of the times. It's basically planting so many seeds for even the most unawakened person to start to question things, or at least get their mind going about, what if this, this creative world that Amanda created, what if it were true? What if parts of this were true? Get them thinking, because wake up. It's time to wake up. All right, it's time for lunch. That's what time it is. All right, so you guys have a wonderful weekend. Don't feel weakened for the weekend, whatever they call it. I don't know. We need to come up with our own terminology for the week and the weekend and, all these negative spellings that they're giving us and come up, grand rising. I like saying that instead of good morning because morning is what you do when you sleep or sleep. I read your thing. I read, oh, I want to sleep. I do too, kind of. Not as bad as I did yesterday, but what we do, yeah. You know what I'm trying to say. What we do when we're grieving, not sleeping. Hopefully we're not in mourning while we're sleeping, although we can be during certain dreams. But thanks again, you guys, so much. All those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see each and every you right back here at Harmony Pearl Tarot Live on Wednesday, Woo Woo Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And I will be coming to you with shorter hair. This even shortens it a little bit because, when you braid your hair, you kind of shorten it up because it's twisted a little bit. When I have my hair all down and everything, it's like way down here when I pull it straight, because obviously there's curl to it. But when I even pull these straight, I can get them down a little more, like down to here. But goodbye hair. I can't wait. Let me just show you kind of what the length I'm going for. And it's an example of my own, a screenshot from one of my old AuthorTube videos. I'll show you guys real quick and then we'll go. I already did my sign off, but I'll go right after this. This is the length. This is my hair happy place right here. Length, layers, all of it right there. That's what I'm going to do. Again, love it. Love it so much. That is, if I could just get my hair to that length and it just maintain itself there, I would be so happy with myself. But no, it grows so fast and then it gets out of control. And then of course I put off cutting it and then I'm like, feel burdened by it. And like after Monday though, hopefully this is what we're stepping into hair wise again. My hair happy place, length and cut and everything. So, all right, you guys, well, I will see you Wednesday and yeah, have a good one. Bye. Oh, I got to push end. All right, now bye.